So one of the biggest challenges that champions face is not a new thing. It's not a difficult thing. It's not a big thing. It's actually your past. At one point in your life, as you continue to grow, as you continue to increase, as you continue to navigate from one level to the other, one day you're going to come full circle with your past. You will meet your past. I find this very interesting when a small team has got a big player in it, and then they sell that player to a big team, and then that big team comes to play the small team some seasons later, months later, or years later. It's always a bittersweet moment, because that player now playing for this big team gets to meet these other guys. These guys that he grew up with, these guys that he knew, these guys that knew him, they knew his weaknesses, they knew, and some of the stuff you're going to face in your past is going to be so familiar with you. And what they do is they taunt you. Your past will taunt you. Your past will tell you, I know you can't get through this. I know your weak spots. Everybody thinks that you're bold, but I know you. I know the stuff that you've done. I know the things that you've got in your closet. I know the failures that you've got, the skeletons that you have. I know you. Your past will tell you, I know you. And everything that you're doing is a fake. What you're putting on is a fraud. That's what your past will tell you. And as a champion, that's the hardest thing to face, because when someone from your past or something from your past rears its ugly head, it looks like it's another place where you're gonna fail. You have to be bold enough to look your past in the eye and say, I'll beat this. I will beat this. Sometimes you beat an addiction and you go through life and you're doing so well, and a few years or a few months later, you meet up with this same addiction. This temptation comes and you're so tempted to fall. You're so tempted to go back to that old bad habit. And it's such a real temptation, because that addiction is telling you, I know you. I know this is your sport. I know this is your drink. I know this is what you smoke. I know this is where you always you always go wrong with this thing. This is the mistake that you always make. You made this mistake for decades. You've made this mistake every year. And I know you're going to make it again. And you have to be bold enough to say, I've changed. I'm different. I'm strong enough to look this addiction. I'm strong enough to look this pain in the eye and walk away and beat it. Win. You have to win against your past. You have to be courageous enough to face a mountain that came up to you in the past and you failed. But you have to be courageous enough to stand up to it and say, this time I'm going to win. Because it's not the same you. You've changed. You're a different person. You've got a different flavor to you. You've put in the work. You've done so much stuff. You've put in the grind behind the scenes. And even though the mountain is the same, you're not the same. So stand up. Face your giant, face your past, and say, this time I win. This is your next level. See you tomorrow.